We on? Hey y'all, happy Sunday. I'm here in Billings, Montana. The phone says 0. Feels like -13. Check out this view though. So beautiful. Hey, I'm here. I'm helping a family and a girl try and put her life back together. I want to talk to you a little bit about how I got to be where I'm at today. Most of you know my story and where I came from. Lots of incarceration. Committed a bunch of crimes because I grew up in a system where we had money trauma. We were poor growing up, and I come from a family where everyone's pretty successful and they have money, and I wasn't willing to put my time in the trenches, and I took the easy way out, and because of it I spent a lot of my time in state and federal prisons. Not just regular yards either, gang units and shoe programs, and I'm covered in tattoos and stab wounds and all kinds of other stuff. But the real message I wanted to give people is that 10 years ago I was trying to create a landscaping business for myself. Like I said, I'm covered in these hateful tattoos. I have a bunch of felonies on my record, and the corporate world just wasn't something that I was thinking I was ever going to break into or even wanted to. I hate being told what to do, and I really hate structure. There's just been something about it, me living by the seat of my pants, that I love so much. I think that's where my addiction came in as well. Addiction has an exciting life to it. Oh, my hands are freezing. You all right, Bodie? This won't take long. Anyway, I want to share a message with y'all. 10 years ago, I was somebody who didn't think that my voice mattered in this world. And in the last 10 years, especially since I've gotten into the drug and alcohol industry, I formed some of my own opinions and done some of my own stuff. And, those opinions haven't necessarily been popular amongst the 12 steps dominates recovery. The 12 steps is, either you're sober or you're not. And I don't define recovery like that. I've heard some people have called me a fraud, not to my face, because you wouldn't. But you call me a fraud because I have a glass of wine or I'll drink a beer, and I'm a humongous believer in medical marijuana and the benefits that it has. When I came out about that stuff 3 years ago, my phone has not rang not one time for these treatment centers that used to use me for interventions. And I knew I was doing it. I knew that by stepping out onto that plank that I was, going to be putting myself behind the 8 ball. But the reality of the situation is I'd rather be hated for who I am than liked or loved for who I'm not. And I used to have very strong beliefs about marijuana. I once kicked my little brother out of my house 10 years ago, in fact, while he was working on my landscaping crew because he wouldn't stop smoking weed. But since that time, I've seen what it can do. So if you're somebody and you're on hard drugs, I have an opinion, and it's just my opinion. So, I would love for everyone to share, and if, people want to open a discussion about it, great, let's talk about it. But my opinion is addiction is not a disease. In the sense that it's something that you contract and you can never get rid of. I just think that's a crock. I think it's a business model that supports 30,000 treatment centers that are able to collect insurance checks. I believe that if you're on hard drugs, that your life is in a position right now where it's too painful to move forward because of whether it's childhood trauma or lack of self-worth or just a lack of excitement. For some people that are on the dope, I don't want a normal life. I don't want a 9 to 5, and I understand that. I get that completely. I don't either. So my opinion about the situation is this. If you're addicted to a substance and you're on the ground and you're getting kicked by life, you need to stand your ass up. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. You're talking to a guy who spent a year in a cell where they put a mask on my face and walked me around with my handcuffs connected to the back of a dog leash in solitary confinement. I get it. It's not easy to change your life, but life don't have a stinking remote, man. You got to get your ass up and you got to change it yourself. So if you're somebody who's getting kicked by life right now, reach out to me. reach out to me. I have a different view, I have a different philosophy, and I'm not knocking the 12 steps. I have a very deep respect for the 12 steps, and if it saved your life and it got you sober, then man or woman, more power to you. I dig it. My recovery isn't in 12-step meetings. My recovery's out here. My recovery's climbing mountains. My recovery's riding the vibrations of the ocean and surfing and doing cool stuff. I mean, my philosophy about addiction is this: get clean. Call me, I will come to wherever you're at. I don't give a shit about the laws. I really never have. In the sense that we've been lied to about marijuana. It was all a money-making scheme, and this stuff is an absolutely amazing tool that can help you get off of the stuff that binds you right now. There is no physical withdrawal, meaning your body will not become physically dependent on this. Call me. I will come to where you're at. I'll detox you with CBD and THC oil, no matter what you're on. And I'll spend a few days with you showing you how to enjoy your life again. You only know what makes you happy. I know what makes me happy, and what makes me happy might not make you happy, but call me. I'm not, I've been painted into a place where I'm labeled as an interventionist. I'm labeled as a guy who's going to show up and not go away until you go to treatment. And I can tell you that the most powerful tool that I have in my arsenal right now is to meet with somebody, connect with them, reunify families, explain a situation that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they can't understand it, your family can't understand it, and you can't understand where they're coming from. Maybe you will if you have a kid who's getting high and can't stop. But the only way for them to understand where you're coming from is for them to do what you're doing, put a needle in your arm, or hit a meth pipe, or whatever it is that you're doing. So you don't want them to understand. And they don't want to understand. But reunify families and get in my car and drive away and re-dignify the person who is currently addicted, because you are going to want help. You might not want help right now. You probably have a bag of dope in your pocket. No one really wants help when they got a bag of dope in their pocket, but there is going to come a day when you're getting booted out of a hotel and you don't have any money for cigarettes and you're just broken. Call me. Call me. I'll be there in the drop of a hat. This is my mission. This is my purpose on this planet, is to try and help families reunify with each other, and then help people understand that you either need to stay down and get your ass kicked, or you need to find the intestinal fortitude to stand your ass up and look this thing in the face. It's not bigger than you. I mean, guys in prison, I experience things that most men will never have to experience in their life. And there was something inside of me that rose up in prison that I can't even put words to. It was probably God. Because I was able to avoid a whole lot of violent situations. Some of them I wasn't. But I could have very easily been one of these guys that is sitting in there for the rest of my life, or on death row. So my message to you is this, man. There's a song that, if you haven't seen the movie A Star Is Born, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, go get it. Go get it. It's on Redbox right now. One of the most amazing movies I've ever seen. But there's a line in that song that always remember us this way. And it said, "You found a light in me that I couldn't find." It's amazing. It's beautiful. And it's my mission statement. It's what I want to do. I want to help reflect the light that's in my eyes back to you, because we're the same, you and I. There is no difference. The intelligence that is within me is within you. And I have an inner strength that I can't put words to. I'm not bragging. I'm not talking about my ego. I'm talking about my spirit, my soul. I don't like staying down and getting kicked. But I'm not sober. Putting a needle in my arm several times in the past few years has saved me from not being here anymore. I'm not fake. I'm not a fraud. I'm a real dude, man. And I'll come and I'll help you. Without any judgments, without any labels, without trying to tell you who you are. No one knows what the human being is capable of. Nobody. So who are you to let somebody tell you who and what you are? And if you have strong beliefs about marijuana, fine. Fine. Trace the money. Where did those beliefs come from? And you will find, when you trace the money, that it's what it is. It was a money-making scheme. This stuff can get you off of this stuff. It'll be the most comfortable detox you ever have. And if it's a state that doesn't allow it, whatever. I would love to pick 6 jury members and have them delve into what I've been able to do with medical marijuana. Not everyone makes it. Stephanie Dana and Brandon Dunham, Anna Kay, Jonathan Vigil, Chris Denny, And these are just the people that have passed since I've been doing this. It's a life and death game, y'all. And you're using a substance, whatever it is, because they're putting fentanyl on all the shit. But you're using a substance that if you do a little bit too much, your heart's going to stop. And your family has to go and visit a gravesite for the rest of their life. Not cool. Not cool for anybody. Call me, I'll help you. Love and only love, people.